everyone, I'm Jane Grey, and welcome to the Bookwyrm's Lair. Sorry about the delay. My editing familiar had a bit of a meltdown, and what with the heat and the lack of AC down here, filming's been a little difficult. That being said, after this episode, I'm gonna need a bit of a vacation. Okay, my boss is sending me on a shopping trip to the bazaar at Diva to stock up on a few rare editions of some stuff, but she promised I could review something really cool and epic when I got back. So, let's get this show on the road. This week's book is another murder mystery, with a bit of a twist. Absolution by Murder. Let's set the Wayback Machine for Dark Ages England.
The year is 664 AD. Rome has fallen. Christianity is on the rise, but the Roman Church is not yet the dominant choice of Western Europe. War, famine, pestilence, and death are rampant, and ignorance and superstition reign supreme. Except in Ireland! What's so special about Ireland? Well, the author, Peter Tremaine, is an Irish historian and likes to show his research like a pretentious rich guy likes to show off his French supermodel girlfriend and hybrid sports car at parties. And, well, his heroine in this novel is an Irish lawyer nun, one Sister Fidelma.
What? Don't look at me like that. Nuns can be lawyers, and back then it was quite common in Ireland. Oh, and she's got a degree that gives her the right to argue law with just about anybody. And she's a princess. Because everything's better with princesses. I think perhaps a more apropos name for her might have been Sister Mara Sue. She's gorgeous, clever, knows martial arts, sings beautifully, zings like Dorothy Parker. I said this was an awesome book at the end of my last review, but maybe there should have been some disclaimers.
The story itself is actually quite good, and deals with the Synod of Whitby, an actual historical event that decided whether the Anglo-Saxon kingdoms of England would follow the Church of Rome, the foundation of the modern-day Catholic Church, or the Church of Iona, which, to my knowledge, died under the foot of a bunch of Roman Catholic sticks in the mud. The murder victim is an old schoolmate of Sister Fidelma's, an abbess who is about to leave her post to marry a mysterious man. While monks and nuns and other clergy could marry at the time, a high position like an abbot or abbess wasn't allowed to marry and have a family. So for the sake of love, she's booking it. Apparently, somebody finds out and doesn't like this, and cuts her throat brutally, like a hog to be slaughtered. What with two factions fighting bitterly for dominance, there's a lot of pressure for a fair investigation. So Sister Fidelma, gets teamed up with a doctor and former hereditary Saxon judge, Brother Edulf, who is there to argue for Rome. Cue the belligerent sexual tension. The investigation allows for quite a bit of character development for the two, from Sister Fidelma's headstrong need to do what's right and damn the legalities in the scenario, to Brother Edulf's extensive medical knowledge. Sadly, most of what we see is Fidelma. Brother Edulf is sort of there to be her ridiculously Father What-a-Waste-ish Watson.
The characters can be pretty one-dimensional, especially the suspects. It's easy to tell them apart, but that's because they're all caricatures. The mad monk, the angry lesbian, the naughty nun, the flaming homosexual. Seriously, I could cut myself on some of them. Granted, the king who called the Synod is actually well fleshed out, and I feel sorry for the hard choice he finally has to make. But he really doesn't strike me as being of vital importance to the story, apart from the setting. To top it all off, the story frequently stops dead in its tracks to explain anything that's going on that modern readers might not get, or to point out anything that might show that the Irish are basically more awesome than anyone. It's helpful, but jarring, and considering that the book already starts with a quick Irish History 101 class, you'd think they'd just have footnotes or something. I get it, dude. You know your stuff. You think the Irish are awesome. I think they're pretty cool too. But shut up and show, don't tell. Sometimes it is useful, though, to have that explanation, especially when it's handled well. For example, they were using law and order tactics back then, in a religious synod. Man won, and he serves time in a mental institution.
No deal. He knew what he was doing was wrong. He fled arrest and he shows no signs of remorse. He gets the chair, he gives us his accomplices, and serves out his life sentence.
It was just a vanilla Coke. Shut up, kid. You don't have to say anything you don't want to. Neat, huh? All in all, it's not a bad book. It's just not great. I personally love it, warts and all. But the explanations make it drag like a tin can behind a bridal car, and the non-sleuth characters need a great deal more fleshing out. But for a history nerd like me, it's a fun read. I'd say this one gets a green star. I'm feeling generous. I'd recommend it to anyone looking for an intellectual and educational read, especially if they like Irish and medieval history. But you may want to avoid it if you want something fast-paced, or if you don't think you can skip the info dumps. Well, that's all for this week. Guess I'll see you in autumn. Until then, I'm Jane Grey, wishing you a good book to curl up with. Now, Diva, here I come.